आउज़ुबिल्लाहिमिनश्शैतानिर्रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। अस्सलाम वालेकुम डियर स्टूडेंट्स, उम्मीद है आप खैरियत से होंगे। आज की वीडियो में हम 10th क्लास बायो का चैप्टर 1 ह्यूमन डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम के शॉर्ट क्वेश्चंस की बात करेंगे। तो चलते हैं वीडियो की तरफ। फर्स्ट शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन है, व्हाट इज न्यूट्रिशन? न्यूट्रिशन इज द प्रोसेस बाय विच organisms obtain and use nutrients to grow, maintain health and repair their bodies. Second question है, why must food be broken down into simpler parts? Food must be broken down so that body cells are able to absorb the nutrients. Third question है, what is the difference between autotrophic and heterotrophic nutrition? Autotrophic nutrition involves organisms producing their own food from the inorganic substances using light or chemical energy. Heterotrophic nutrition involves obtaining food by consuming other organisms. Question number 4. Why are humans considered heterotrophs? Humans are heterotrophs because they cannot make their own food and must get it from other organisms. Question number 5. What is the role of ingestion in the digestive process? Ingestion is the initial act of taking food and drinks into the body through the mouth. Question number 6. What is digestion? It is breaking of food into smaller parts so the body can absorb. Question number 7. What happens during the absorption stage? During absorption, nutrients move from the digestive food into the blood or lymph. Eighth question, define assimilation. Assimilation is the process of using the absorbed nutrients within the body's cells and tissues. What is digestion? It is the removing of undigested food and waste from the body. Question number 10. Define polymers and monomers in context of digestion. Polymers are large molecules like carbohydrates and proteins that cannot pass through cell membranes. Monomers are the smaller soluble parts like sugars or amino acids. They are broken into during digestion. नेक्स्ट टॉपिक जो है वो है ह्यूमन डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम। फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन है, व्हाट इज द एलिमेंट्री कैनाल? इट इज अ लॉन्ग कंटिन्यूअस ट्यूब दैट स्टार्ट्स एट द माउथ एंड ends at the anus through which food passes during digestion. Second question है, which three helper or accessory organs send digestive juices into the alimentary canal? These organs are salivary glands, liver and pancreas. Third question है, what is oral cavity? The space behind the mouth is called the oral cavity or mouth cavity. It consists taste buds on the surface of the tongue for the taste of food. Question number 4. What is the difference between mechanical and chemical digestion in the oral cavity? Mechanical digestion is the physical breakdown of food into smaller pieces by the teeth, while chemical digestion is the breakdown of complex molecules like starch into simpler ones like maltose by enzymes. Question number 5. What is the role of tongue during the grinding of food? The tongue moves the food around to keep it positioned between the teeth for efficient grinding. Question 6. What is the role of oral cavity in digestion? In the oral cavity, partial chemical digestion of carbohydrates is done by three pairs of salivary glands. These glands are attached to the oral cavity and secrete saliva. Question number 7. What is the composition of saliva? Saliva is a mixture of water, mucus, and a digestive enzyme called salivary amylase. Question number 8. Describe the function of saliva. Water and mucus moisten the food pieces. Salivary amylase breaks down the starch present in food into maltose. Question number 9. What is difference between starch and maltose? Starch is a polysaccharide made up of many glucose molecules. Maltose is a disaccharide made of two glucose molecules. Question number 10. What is a bolus? A bolus is the soft, moistened mass of food formed in the oral cavity after physical and partial chemical digestion. Question 11. What is swallowing? After the physical and partial chemical digestion, the food is swallowed by pushing it into the pharynx. For swallowing, the tongue moves the bolus to the back of the oral cavity. The swallowed food then enters the pharynx. Question number 12. How does the body prevent food from entering the nasal cavity during swallowing? The palate, the roof of the oral cavity, moves upward to seal off the opening to the nasal cavity. Question number 13. What is the function of the epiglottis during swallowing? It moves into a horizontal position to close the opening of the trachea, the glottis, ensuring food enters the esophagus instead of airway. Question number 14. What is the pharynx? The pharynx is a short tube-like part located behind the oral cavity that connects the oral cavity to the esophagus and the nose to the trachea. Question number 15. What is the primary function of pharynx regarding the lungs? Its important function is to prevent food particles from entering the lungs. Question number 16. What is the epiglottis? The epiglottis is a flap of elastic cartilage tissues that help close the opening of the windpipe during swallowing. Question number 17. How does the glottis close during swallowing? When food is swallowed, the top of the trachea is pushed up against the epiglottis, which closes the opening in the glottis. Question number 18. What is the esophagus? The esophagus is a long muscular tube, approximately 25 centimeters in length, that connects the pharynx to the stomach. Question number 19. Define peristalsis. Peristalsis is the series of successive waves of muscular contractions in the walls of the esophagus that move food towards the stomach. Question number 20. Does digestion occur in the pharynx? Yes. The process of chemical digestion that begins in the oral cavity continues in the pharynx. Question number 21. What is the shape and location of the stomach? The stomach is a J-shaped and located in the upper left side of the abdominal cavity below the diaphragm. Question number 22. Distinguish between the cardiac end and pyloric end. The cardiac end is the part of the stomach immediately after the esophagus and prevents food from flowing backward from the stomach into the esophagus, while the pyloric end is the part just before the small intestine and prevents food from flowing backward from the small intestine to the stomach. Question number 23. What is the function of cardiac sphincter? It is a ring of muscles that prevent food from flowing backward from the stomach into the esophagus. Question number 24. What type of digestion occurs in stomach? The stomach is responsible for both mechanical and partial chemical digestion. Question number 25. What is churning and how does it help in digestion? Churning is the rigorous contraction of the stomach's muscular walls that breaks food into smaller particles and produces heat to help melt lipids. Question number 26. Define chyme. Chyme is the soup-like mixture formed after food has been processed by the stomach's mechanical and chemical action for 3 to 4 hours. Question number 28. What are the three main components of gastric juice? Gastric juice secreted by the walls of the stomach contain hydrochloric acid, an inactive enzyme called pepsinogen, mucus. Question number 29. How is pepsinogen activated? Hydrochloric acid converts the inactive pepsinogen into the active enzyme pepsin. Question number 30. What is the role of enzyme pepsin? Pepsin breaks down large protein into shorter chains of amino acids called peptides. Question number 31. What are the two functions of hydrochloric acid in the stomach? It activates pepsinogen into pepsin and kills pathogenic bacteria present in the food. Question number 32. How does the stomach protect itself from its own acid? The inner walls are coated with a thick layer of mucus that neutralizes the HCl and prevent the stomach walls from being broken down. Question number 33. How much chyme passes into the small intestine at one time? About 5 to 15 milliliter of chyme moves into the small intestine each time the pyloric sphincter opens. Question number 34. What is the average length of the human small intestine and how it is structured to fit into the body? The small intestine is nearly 7 meter long and is highly coiled to fit compactly within the abdominal cavity. Question number 35. Name the three parts of the small intestine in order along with their respective length. Duodenum about 25 centimeter long, jejunum about 2.5 meter long, ileum about 4 meter long. Question number 36. Which two major digestive organs release their secretions into the duodenum? The liver, which secretes bile, and the pancreas, which secretes pancreatic juice. Question number 37. What is emulsification and how does it assist in digestion? Emulsification is the process where bile salts break down large fat masses into small droplets. This keeps the fat droplets separated, increasing the surface area for enzymes to digest them. Question number 38. What gives feces their characteristic color? Feces contain bile pigments, which are formed when old or damaged red blood cells are broken down in the liver and subsequently removed from the body. Question number 39. Name three primary enzymes present in pancreatic juice and state what food compact component each digests. Trypsin digests protein, pancreatic amylase digests carbohydrates, lipase digests lipids or fats. Question number 40. What is the function of sodium bicarbonate in pancreatic juice? Sodium bicarbonate is alkaline and function to neutralize the highly acidic chyme arriving in the duodenum from the stomach. Question number 41. Where does the complete digestion of all types of food take place and how it is accomplished? Complete digestion takes place in the small intestine. It is accomplished by enzymes from pancreatic juice working alongside additional enzymes secreted by the glands present in the walls of the small intestine itself. Question number 42. What are the final end products of complete food digestion? The final end products of complete food digestion are amino acids, simple sugars, glycerol, fatty acids. Question number 43. What are villi and what is their primary function in the small intestine? Villi, singular villus, are millions of tiny finger-like projections located on the highly folded inner walls of the small intestine. Their primary function is to provide a large surface area to efficiently absorb digested food molecules through effusion and active transport. Question number 44. How do amino acids and simple sugars travel from the small intestine to the liver? Amino acids and simple sugars enter the blood capillaries inside the villi. These capillaries join together to form the hepatic portal vein, which directly carries these nutrients from the small intestine to the liver. Question number 45. Which vessel absorb and transport glycerol and fatty acids? Glycerol and fatty acids enter a specialized lymph vessel inside the villus called a lacteal. The lacteal carry them to the main lymph vessel, which eventually empty the nutrients into the blood vessel near the heart. Question number 46. Where is the appendix located and what can happen if an infected appendix is not removed surgically? The appendix is a small finger-like projection located at the blind end of the cecum. If an infected appendix is not surgically removed, it can burst, cause severe pain, and allowing the infection to dangerously spread throughout the abdomen. Question number 47. What is carotene? Where is it found and why is it essential for body? Carotene is a natural organic pigment. It is found in the fruits and vegetables such as carrots and mangoes. It is essential for vision, growth, and immunity. Question number 48. Name the three parts of the large intestine and describe the first part's correction. The three parts of the large intestine are cecum, the colon, and the rectum. The cecum is the pouch-like structure that forms a junction directly connecting with the small intestine. Question number 49. How are feces formed in the large intestine and what do they consist of? After undigested material and water move into the large intestine via peristalsis, more water is absorbed. This causes the remaining undigested material to solidify into feces. Feces consist of undigested material, a large number of bacteria, broken cells of alimentary canal, bile pigments. Question number 50. Which enzyme is the in the small intestine break down protein or peptides and what are their final products? The enzymes in the small intestine that act on protein or peptides are trypsin and chymotrypsin, which break down protein into peptides. Pep- Peptidase break down peptides into amino acid and peptides. Dipeptidases break down dipeptides into amino acids. Question number 51. Identify the specific enzyme responsible for breaking down maltose, sucrose, and lactose along with their resulting products. Maltase breaks down maltose into glucose. Sucrase breaks down sucrose into glucose and fructose. Lactase breaks down lactose into glucose and galactose.